Vale.
At the end of the session, you can ask for queries.
हे कंडम
You're giving only instructions.
Good morning, all. Here are few instructions for the participants. Please mute yourselves. And if you have any queries, please please ask at the end of the session. And the feedback link will be shared in the chat box at the end of the session. And lastly, feedback, you have to fill up the feedback form. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the group chat. So we can start the program. Sharon, you can start.
Honorable Speaker of the Day, Reverend Fathers, teachers, and my fellow students, good morning. Thank you for taking your time to attend this webinar. In trying moments, you must keep trying. In graving times, don't think of giving up. Employ your passion to work. Sometimes great to enjoy is approaching. Resilience is an accepting your new reality, even if it's less good than the one you had before. You can fight it, you can do nothing but scream about what you have lost. Or you can accept that and try to put together something that's good. We have virtually assembled here today to discuss an important subject. When someone believes something to be unfair, inequitable, discriminated, or adherent to educational process is known as grievance. But is it related to the internal problem of the college or the lack of resilience in the student, which is the cause? Nonetheless, we all have grievance and resentment towards each other. How do we go about handling grievance and develop resilience? Interestingly, it is easier said than done. I am very grateful for our college management committee for having a student grievance cell and for providing the opportunity to remedy the condition which the students believes impede its or education and instruction. Let us now invoke God's abundant blessing to lead us through this webinar. May I call upon Soundarya from First BBA to render the prayer song.
ಹೂವಲ್ಲಿ ಜೇನು ಗುಡಿ ಕಟ್ಟದೇನು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಅಡಿಮುಟ್ಟದೇನು ಆ ದೈವದಾಜ್ಞೇನೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಹೇ ದೇವನೇ ದಯಪಾಲಿಸು ಈ ಬಾಳನು ಬೆಳಕಾಗಿಸು ಹೇ ದೇವನೇ ದಯಪಾಲಿಸು ಈ ಬಾಳನು ಬೆಳಕಾಗಿಸು ನಾಳೆಗಳ ದಾರಿಯಲಿ ನಂಬಿಕೆಯ ನೆಲೆಯ ತಿಳಿಸು ಮುನ್ನಡೆಸು ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿದು ನಾವಾಡೋ ಪದ ಪದದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಂಚರಿಸು ಹೂವಲ್ಲಿ ಜೇನು ಗುಡಿ ಕಟ್ಟದೇನು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀನು ಅಡಿಮುಟ್ಟದೇನು ಆ ದೈವದಾಜ್ಞೇನೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಹೇ ದೇವನೇ ದಯಪಾಲಿಸು ಈ ಬಾಳನು ಬೆಳಕಾಗಿಸು ಹೇ ದೇವನೇ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Thank you, Soundarya, for leading us into the prayer. Now I request Jonathan Thomas from First BBA to deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Speaker Mrs. Pamit Kaur, Founder and Director Mineralog, Reverend Father Roshan Rosario, Director St. Anthony's Institutions, Reverend Father Joy D'Souza, Principal Darshan College, Reverend Father Royston D'Souza, Administrator St. Anthony's Institution, Professor Renel Fernandez, Coordinator of the Grievance Cell, teachers, participants, and students, a very good morning and a hearty welcome. We are passing through a difficult times of COVID-19, and it happens there is no let up, and it seems COVID-19 will not go so away so fast. We have assembled virtually for today's webinar on building resilience during the uncertain times to challenge the difficult times, to build the spirit of human resilience to withstand onslaught of COVID-19 and to listen to our esteemed speaker. I am delighted to extend a warm welcome to Mrs. Pamit Kaur, founder and director of Mineralog, who has accepted our invitation and to address us today. Welcome once again, Madam. Similarly, I extend a warm welcome to Reverend Father Roshan Rosario, Director of St. Anthony's Institution, Reverend Father Joy Wilson D'Souza, Principal, Darshan College, Reverend Father Royston D'Souza, Administrator, St. Anthony's Institution, teachers and participants and students, welcome once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonan, for the warm welcome. Now I request Renan ma'am to introduce our resource person for the day.
Good morning, all. Parmit Kaur is working as a psychologist and psychotherapist with various online platforms. She is a personal safety and sexuality education facilitator associated with Enfold, Bangalore. Parmit Kaur is also a gold medalist. Her area of interest is addiction. She has an experience in dealing with clients who have depression, anxiety, addiction, stress, age-related problems, cancer care, etc. She is founder and director of My Inner Log, which is an online-based platform. She is also associated with other online platforms. She has done internship in Fortis Hospital, Kidwai Hospital, Mahima Rehabilitation Center, and in various counseling centers. She has done multiple certification courses. She is certified in sexuality education and personal safety, suicide prevention care, insight therapies, cognitive behavioral therapy in OCD, sexual dysfunction, couple and family therapy, hypnosis, cancer counseling, solution focused therapy, psychological assessment for children, mental health education, mindfulness based CBT, behavioral therapy, assessment and management of technology addiction, prevention of child sexual abuse, life skill education, personality and addictive behavior, technology and women empowerment, psychometric certification, career counseling, etc. She has also presented technology.
Thank you, ma'am, for introducing the resource person. Now it's time to learn about grievance and building resilience during uncertain times from our esteemed speaker, Mrs. Pramit Kaur, psychologist. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for a lovely introduction. Could you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen. I hope it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So once again, thank you for such a hearty welcome and good afternoon to everybody. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Darshan College for organizing this particular event. Without further delay, I would like to start my presentation. As you all know, that today's presentation is about how to build resilience in uncertain times. So here we are talking about uncertain times, right? So uncertain times, what it is. We are all going through uncertain times. How we don't know when COVID-19 will end. We don't know when are we going to get vaccine. We don't know if we'll get affected by COVID-19, or what if our parents will acquire COVID-19, right? So we are all going through uncertain times. So keeping that in mind, topic would be how to build resilience in uncertain times, but it is not restricted only to COVID-19 situation. Okay, so what actually resilience is? Now, I would like to give an analogy of rubber band. What is the characteristic of rubber band? So when you stretch the rubber band and let it go, it comes back to its shape, right? So this is what is called resilience. The definition of resilience is the ability to recover quickly from stress. Okay, the ability to recover quickly from stress is the definition of resilience. Resilience does not mean that somebody does not experience or go through stress, but rather it means that they recover quickly. Okay, we all would have seen somebody, if they hear the bad news and they start working and they just avoid the situation. That is not called resilience. Resilience means somebody who actually experienced the stress or any negative emotion, but they accept it more quickly, and more important, they adapt quickly and move forward. They use their resources and their strength to overcome the situation quickly, but it does not mean that they don't experience sadness, they don't experience stress or tension, right? So that is the definition of resilience. Now, why do we need to know about resilience? Why it is important? In psychology, this is currently a lot of research is going on, and even now also, some of the people I know are doing research on resilience, because it is a very hot topic in psychology right now. Now, why it is important to study resilience? Now, research has shown that resilience, those who are more resilient, so somebody if has high on resilience is called as resilient person, that he is resilient. Okay, so now if somebody is resilient, they will have less anxiety and depression than somebody who are low on resilience. That means somebody high on resilience means they recover quickly from stress, and somebody who is low on resilience means they don't recover quickly from stress, right? So somebody who is high on resilience will experience less anxiety and less depression. Okay, not only that, they will also have less skin disease, they will have less gastrointestinal distress. Okay, and even for cancer patient also, it was found that those who were high on resilience had less symptoms. See, it's such a big thing that they had less symptoms than those who were low on resilience. And even the quality of life, we all know that cancer affects a lot, and then there are chemotherapy, and quality of life also decreases. So but if somebody is high on resilience, it was found in the research that they recover quickly and their quality of life was better, and moreover they experienced less symptoms than those who were found low on resilience, right? And even for diabetes also, if for diabetes also, it was found that high on resilience had less symptoms than those who were low on resilience. Okay, and even from brain injuries, in brain injuries it can affect very badly to some motor functions, or uh, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, okay. So my voice is also clear, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
for confirming. So we all know that immunity disorder and stress, strong link had been found in research. Those who take more stress had a low immunity than those who take more stress, right? And even with resilience also same thing happened. Those who were more resilient, they had less immunity disorders, and even their symptoms were again less. So these are the some benefits of resilience and why it is important to study it. right? So now we talked about what resilience is, okay, that it is an ability to quickly come back from distress. And then we also learned that what resilience is not. It does not mean that if you are resilient, you will not experience sadness, you will not experience stress, anxiety. Everybody experiences that, but it's just that they recover quickly from it, they adapt quickly. Okay. And then we learned about why resilience is important, and in this slide I have included that there are so many physical benefits. Now the point is how resilience can be developed. In next few slides I'm going to discuss about what are the tools and techniques which can be used to develop resilience, and also I will suggest you some of the very good books I have come across and some of the movies which demonstrate resilience in a very good way. So I will just explain this in the presentation as well, and I will send you the slide, this PPT, and some future references, some material for future reference as well. Now I'm going to move forward with how to develop a resilience. Okay, so I'm going to refer a model which is called as PERMA model, PERMA. So I'm going to refer this model to explain various tools and techniques to develop resilience. So PERMA model, it was developed by Martin Seligman, okay, and it is a model from positive psychology, where PERMA, each word stands for, PERMA is an acronym, okay, and where P stands for positive emotions, E stands for engagement, R stands for relationships, M stand for meaning, and A stand for achievement. Okay, so I'm going to take these one by one. First, we'll start with positive emotions. P of PERMA model, which is positive emotions, right? So now how many times we have experienced that, once we woke up in the morning and we are feeling all good, and then we are doing all the chores, and then suddenly by the end of the day we start feeling low. So I'll give you one example. A few months back, like before the lockdown, when I was going to market, and I mean, along the way I passed from one eatery shop. It was just for, because I was in the cab, it was just for a few seconds, right? I saw that shop, and then I went on to market. But within that few seconds, I I just remembered, something from the past, because in that shop, when we used to be in the college, all of our friends, all of my friends and I would go to that particular shop, that particular eatery shop, and we would have our meals there. Okay, and even though I passed that shop for milliseconds, I remembered so many things. I remembered my college days and how we used to have fun, and how, we used to go to that shop. And then after that I remember that, oh, now we are not in touch anymore, and because everyone is, in a different parts of the world. And then I thought about, okay, and then I started comparing, my that time and my present time. And then, this feeling that college life was really good. Okay, and then see, even that happened in milliseconds. Okay, as soon as I saw that shop, and then I went on to do my work, whatever I wanted to do. Okay, even though in conscious level I was not aware, but in subconscious level, even in that milliseconds, that had an effect which made me feel low by the end of the day. Okay, because even though I miss my friends and I started comparing my life, I started about what are the things which are going wrong, what were the things which were really good. So even in that was enough to make my mood low. Okay, so this is one of the example. So for with all of us, it happens that sometimes we don't know why we are sad. We just say, I'm just not feeling so good, I'm feeling low. Okay, so now with P, I want to emphasize on why it is important to know our emotion, what triggered our emotions, and what are the emotions, most important, what are the emotions we are feeling. Sometimes we define it very vaguely. For example, as I said, that I'm feeling low, I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling good. Okay, so these are vague terms, isn't it? So now I want to emphasize on why it is important to name and label our emotions. For that I have included this wheel of emotions. Okay, if you could see it, I know it's very small, Okay, but here so many emotions are mentioned. For example, for angry, see so many emotions, and again further there are so many emotions, right? Now to again refer the example which I gave you. Maybe by the end of the evening, when I felt that I'm feeling low, I can sit and I can think about what actually happened, because when before going to market I was happy, but what actually happened that I'm started feeling low. So if I think about, okay, I passed from that shop and then I started thinking that, I thinking that, that life was really good, now life is not so good. So what are the emotions? This was a trigger point. Okay, so my trigger point was that when I passed from that shop. Okay, and then what are the emotions I'm feeling? I was feeling, instead of saying I was feeling bad, I could say, I was feeling a little sad, I was feeling little hopeless, and I was missing my friends. So these are the emotions which I'm feeling. So here the point is, it is important, sometimes we don't even realize what are the trigger points and what are the emotions we are feeling, right? So here my point is, to whenever you feel that your feelings are changing as the day is going, just relax for 1 or 2 minutes and try to analyze that what actually triggered that emotions, and what is the emotion actually you are feeling. Okay, and after that, see, this is a CBT sheet, and whenever we do therapy, this is something which is used so much, and it has proven so beneficial in research that by the end of by there are so many, there are 1 2 3 4 5 columns. So as you start feeling first column, second column, third, fourth, and fifth, by the end, my patients or clients, they fill fifth column, they start feeling better. And I'm not exaggerating, this has been proven by research. Now see, what is so special in this sheet is situation. So, what was the situation? What was the trigger point which made you feel, sad? And then, what were the unhelpful thoughts? Unhelpful thoughts are something which are not helping you, and feelings. And then, what is the evidence for unhelpful thinking? I'll be explaining this in detail. And then, what could be the alternative explanation for that, and what you could do? Okay, now to explain this, I'm going to use one example. Now, suppose that I went to mall, and there I saw my teacher, and as soon as and she was with her family and I was alone. Okay, and as soon as I saw her, I gave a broad smile, and I gave her a very good smile, and it said hi, hoping that she would also reply me with the same enthusiasm. But contrary to that, she just looked at me and she gave a very vague smile, and then she looked at her family and then she went. Okay, and I felt really bad. There is some echo. There is some disturbance in the background. Okay, so when, because I expected her to greet me with the same enthusiasm, but she did not. Okay, so obviously I felt bad. Okay, and then I felt like, why she didn't do that? Does that mean that she doesn't like me? Maybe when I was in my doing my 10th or something, then also same thing happened, that when my teacher saw, she didn't greet me properly, but she greeted my friend properly. Maybe I'm not good enough, maybe this, that, maybe my friends also, they don't like me. What happened here, even with the small thing that she didn't greet with the same enthusiasm, and there are series of thoughts which made me feel more negative. And from that incident where she did not greet me properly, I made the conclusion that I'm not good enough. Okay, and it may sound very exaggerated, but it actually happens. Okay, and when you will realize that what was the reason, what was the conclusion which was made, the reason was she did not greet me, but my conclusion was I am not good enough. That's why I don't have much friends. That's why my teachers don't like me. Okay. And then it starts affecting our self esteem. So, this is how it starts. Now, taking this example, I'm going to explain how this sheet can be used. Now the situation was that in the mall I greeted my teacher and she did not greet me properly. This was the situation. And where did it happen? In the mall. When, who, with, timings and all you can write. And then what were the unhelpful thoughts? My unhelpful thoughts were, she doesn't like me. And even in 10th class my teacher did not greet me, she didn't also like me. Maybe all the teachers don't like me, most of the teachers don't like me. And maybe my friends also don't like me. Maybe I'm not good enough. So these are my unhelpful thoughts and feelings. And now what is the evidence of that? Okay, so all these are unhelpful thoughts and I'm feeling low. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling hopeless, or I'm feeling doubtful, and most important, I'm feeling humiliated because she did not greet me properly. I'm feeling humiliated. So these are the emotions I'm feeling. So what is the evidence that prove that my thoughts and feelings are right? The evidence is what? That she did not greet me properly. This is the only evidence. And it's not that she did not gave smile. It's just that she did not greeted me the way I wanted. So this is the only evidence, right? And now what could be the alternative thinking, or more balanced thinking? What could be the alternative thinking for that? Maybe she was not in good mood. Maybe she was with her family and she just wanted to keep the professional life outside that. She wanted to enjoy with the family. So this could be the alternative explanation, right? And maybe she is like that. Maybe her way of greeting is like that. My way of greeting is different. Okay, this could be the alternative explanation. And then what I could do? So here we are considering, here in alternative thinking or more balanced thinking, we saw what is the bigger picture, what is the more balanced thinking, what could be the alternative explanation. Because in my mind I have created it, I'm bad, that's why she has not greeted me. But there could be more explanation to that. There could be a bigger picture. So in the fourth column we are going to write everything. Okay. And then what I could do, what I could do differently, maybe for a lesson for me for future. And what could work, what would be more effective way for future. Okay, maybe I decide that, okay, I should be comfortable if somebody wants to keep their professional and personal life separate. Okay, they don't want to meet the me outside college. So probably that's something I have learned. Okay, so this was the 5 column sheet. I hope it is clear. And if you have any doubt, you can write down in a chat box. As Reynal said, we'll be taking up the questions towards the end. Okay, and so this was a thought challenge sheet. Now moving to next slide. Now this was a thought challenge sheet. Now P is for positive emotions. So thought challenge sheet can be used to stimulate positive emotions. So as I said, as we move from column 1 to column 5, there will be a change in our emotions, and it has been proven by research. Okay, because in column 1 we ask the participant to that from 1 to 10, if you will rate your feelings and emotions. So if, for example, they may write 7 or 8, okay, that they are feeling sadness on a scale from 7 to 8. And then by the time they reach to column 5, their emotions probably they rate 4 or 5. So if they were feeling sadness to an intensity of 8, and in the column 5, if the intensity of sadness has reduced from 8 to 4, it's a significant difference, right? From 8 to 4 is a significant difference. And that is something we observe in a therapy room as well. Okay, so that was the one techniques too. The first one in positive emotion was to find out the triggers, and then to mention the emotions, to write down your emotions. And then when you have analyzed your emotion, then in a thought challenge sheet to fill up this 5 columns, which has been proven by research significantly. And now I'm going to discuss 2 more techniques. I'm sure some of you would be your hobby would be to write a story, to write an article. But there is a one form of writing which is called as expressive writing. Okay, expressive writing is very different from a normal form of writing. In expressive writing, you write down how you are actually feeling. your emotions, and like for example, you write down, many people have the habit of writing how their day went, what are the emotions they felt, how they overcome the challenge, how their day was better than yesterday. Okay, like writing a diary, right? So that is also called expressive writing. Now, what are the benefits of expressive writing? Okay, now look at this. In 1988, a study was conducted where participants they wrote expressive writing only for 4 days. And what was found is something very, crucial, is that when they only did write the expressive writing for 4 days, okay, and they were happy, it was found that their happiness lasted for 3 months. It is a huge thing. Only writing for 4 days and happiness lasted for 3 months, right? And in a similar study, and it's the latest one in 2014, doing this practice daily for 3 weeks. Here the participant practiced for 3 weeks. 3 weeks means 21 days, right? So they helped participant become more engaged with life afterwards, and it decreased their pessimistic beliefs over time. Pessimistic beliefs are not so positive beliefs, right? And they were more engaged with their life. Engaged with the life means to take up more opportunities, to have more hobbies, have more friends. So it was found that it had a lasted impact for a very longer time, because in the 2014 study it was done for 3 weeks. And also the difference was also found in their belief system, and they were also found to be more engaged in the life. Okay, so that's a very big thing, even for writing for 4 days and for writing for 3 weeks. So this is one of the things which can be done. And another is called mindfulness. I'm not sure how many of you would have heard about it, but it is really talked about in current time. Okay, so one study which was conducted recently, it went for 8 weeks, where mindful training was given. And after 8 weeks, it was found that those who had engaged in mindfulness for 8 weeks, they were more satisfied with their life. They had lower depression, lower anxiety and stress, and the benefit lasted for 1 year. For 8 weeks of mindful practice, the benefit lasted for 1 year. Okay, so to give you an idea about what actually mindfulness is, mindfulness means to be in the present. If you realize that most of the time our thoughts are, we are thinking about either something which happened in the past, or we are thinking about something which can happen in the future, but we are rarely in the present, right? So mindfulness actually is about being in the present, right? So I'm going to demonstrate a small 1 or 2 minute exercise for mindfulness to give you an idea about what actually mindfulness is. This exercise is simple, but very powerful, and it will help you notice and appreciate simple elements of your environment in a more profound way. And this exercise is also designed to connect with the beauty of the natural environment, something that is easily missed when we are rushing around or in the car or hopping on off, when we are traveling. So now to start the exercise, I want you all to sit straight. Okay, and then from your environment, choose any object which is natural. It could be tree, it could be sand, or if you're not in a natural environment, you can choose something from your surrounding, and focus on watching it for a minute or two. This could be a flower, or it could be an insect, or even the clouds or sun. Don't do anything except notice the thing you are looking at. Simply relax into watching for as long as your concentration allows. Look at this object as if you are seeing it for the first time. Visually explore every aspect of its formation. For example, what is the color of that object? And allow yourself to be consumed by its presence. Great. So those who have done this exercise, they would have realized that when you are looking at a particular object or a thing for even for a minute, it brings certain calmness, right? And that is a benefit of mindfulness. See, this is there is one quote by Julia Cameron. I'm sorry. And she also talks about being in the present and about mindfulness. See, it's such a beautiful quote. In times of pain, when the future is too terrifying to contemplate, the past too painful to remember, I have learned to pay attention to right now. The precise moment I was in was always the only safe place for me. So, this is a beautiful quote by Julia Cameron. And now we will move to the last tool of P of Parma model, which is called as imagination. And there is one article written on playing piano in the mind, and it's a beautiful article. So what they did in the study was they conducted a study on the participant where they asked them to imagine playing a piano, but they are not actually physically playing the piano. Okay, I hope you guys understood. They were asked the participant to uh, imagine that they are playing the piano and move their fingers like that in their mind. Okay, but they were not actually given the physical piano to play. And whereas the other group was given the physical piano to play. And later on, by the end of the study, it was found that in both the group, when the brain scan was done, fMRI was done, it was found that the similar brain parts was activated. Even those who imagined playing the piano and those who actually played piano, similar part of the brain was affected. So the conclusion was, even if somebody is imagining a positive thing, then also the brain had almost similar effect, not exactly same but similar effect, right? So that is a power of imagination. I'm sorry, I have a bit cough. Yes, I'm really sorry. So to continue the presentation, so that was P of Parma model. Now I'm moving to E of Parma model, and E stands for engagement. So in engagement means, so all of us have engaged in the activities, be it reading a novel or playing music or dancing. It could be anything where we lost the flow of time. We don't realize that we were doing that particular activity for this particular time. So that is called engagement. So where our concentration is fully observed in the moment, and where self-awareness, that means awareness about ourselves also, it disappears and it feels like the time has stopped. So that is called engagement. Engagement does not mean simply reading a book and simply playing or something, but it means where your concentration is fully observed, self-awareness disappears, where you don't even realize that you are actually doing it, and it feels like you are in the flow, and it feels like the time has stopped. That is called engagement. Like for example, for me, it is book. If I'm reading a very nice book, so I would describe it that I am fully engaged in that. For everybody, there will be something. So second thing is to have something which you really enjoy, where you feel that you are completely engaged, is called E of engagement. And then is next is R, which stands for relationship. Now in psychology, the longest study which is conducted is to find that what makes people happy. This is the longest study, and it started long back. I think it's been 75, 78 years, and this study still continues. So the aim of the study was what makes people happy. Okay, and what they found was that it was relationships. Okay, those who had good social support system, those who described that for them relationships are important, those who had still, they were still in touch with their friends and had somebody, if they had any, they ran into any trouble, they had something to look for, were were found that they were more happy. So this is the longest study conducted in history, and they found that the main reason for happiness is relationships. Okay, and social connections. And so that is why our relationships, it determines how happy we are in a relationship, and it has a powerful influence on our health also. And in the similar, in the same study, it was found that those who had more friends, I mean quality friends, it's not like, about number of friends, but somebody they can rely on. Okay, and it was also found that they had less disease as compared to those who had less social support system and who had less social connections. So the benefits were dual. First was they were more happy, and the other one was health wise they were much better than those who had less social connections. It was found in the study. And if you want, I will send you the article, because the study is started long back, around 78 years back, and it still continues. Okay, and now even for grandchildren also they are continuing the study. Okay, so this was something which was found, and it's an amazing study. I will be sending the article as well. So now moving to next, which is uh, M of Parma model, which is called meaning. To find meaning in life, we all have heard that, what is the meaning of my life, and what I want to do, what would give me, the meaning in my life. So actually, it is very subjective. I cannot say that, if you will do this thing, you will find the meaning in your life. It is very subjective. So some of the things which people have made a list of, that it could be act of kindness. Okay, and maybe to volunteer in some activities, and expressing gratitude means whatever you have, you are thankful about it. And if somebody has done something nice to you, being thankful to them and expressing your gratitude. And sometimes people find meaning in religion. We all have seen somebody who is very religious, and they find meaning in that. So as I said, it is very subjective. What would be if anything, if I find meaning in, I may find meaning in maybe spirituality. Okay, but you may find meaning in helping others. Okay, and somebody else may find meaning in, to developing a software, which will help the community. And somebody could find meaning if they earn, certain amount of money. And somebody could find meaning if they achieve a certain level of happiness. And for somebody, it could be like making my parents happy. It could be anything. As I said, it is subjective. That is something defined by ourselves. So try to ask yourself, what is important to you, what gives meaning to your life. Okay, and in this slide I've just given some of the things which are mentioned by people, which gives meaning to their life. Okay, and last of Karma model is achievement. It is not for others, it's for us. Okay, sometimes the difference between meaning and achievement is, it could be that in meaning is mostly, or somewhere other people are also involved in achievement.
ଖରାକ word ଅଛି ମୁଁ କୁଆଡେ ଦେଖି
Okay, so achievement means where what I'm doing for my growth. Okay, what I'm doing to challenge my mind, what I'm doing to be a better version of myself than I was before. And it could be even a small things. For me, achievement could be maybe today I woke up at 6 o'clock and I went for a walk. Okay, for me achievement could be that today, okay, I maybe counseled some 2 or 3 patients who couldn't afford the counseling. So it could be anything, and it does not have to be a big one. It could be as small as that I today I woke up at 6 and I went for a walk. It could be as small as that. So achievement, basically, to define it, is to challenge your mind, to improve yourself, would be I think this sentence best describes what achievement means. Okay, so this was all about Parma model. And as I said, questions I'll be taking at the last. So before ending, I would like to say something. Even though these things help us to develop resilience, and we are going through difficult times, but sometimes it is it is advised to take help if you are feeling sadness for a very long time, and you realize that you have tried to cheer yourself up, but it's not helping. And if you feel that your eating patterns have changed. Initially you used to have 3 meals, but now you feel that I don't feel like eating at all. And if you feel that you initially maybe you liked meeting your friends, but later on you're realizing that I don't want to meet anybody. Okay, so if any of these symptoms, and you feel that for a future look hopeless, and my energy is very low, and these are the changes if you are experiencing, it is always best to consult a psychologist. Okay, and I have also given the number here. So if anybody would like to chat or have a word, I'll be happy. So with that, I would conclude the presentation, and I'm open to taking questions.
Thank you for enlightening us with your deep knowledge and thoughts about grievance and resilience. It was indeed inspiring and assure you that we will apply the guidelines, suggestions, and tips in our daily life. We really enjoyed today's session and it was very educational. We would love to hear more from you in the coming days, maybe on YouTube. Now I request our very Reverend Father Joy D'Souza, our dear principal, to share our views on today's session.
Students, if you have any questions, you can just post in the chat box. So maybe after the questions, Father will be speaking.
Yes, and before that, I would also like to suggest some of the books. This is one of the book, Diary of a Young Girl. I think this is the best book ever written on resilience. It is very popular on Anne Frank, and I will be sending the link if somebody wants to read it. And then another book is Man's Search for Meaning. These both the books are based on the similar timings. And then another one is on Power of Now, and some of the movies also. For example, Guru, Pursuit of Happiness, He Named Me Malala, Wild, and Life is Beautiful. And I'll be also sending some of the resources. Yeah, Renan, please go ahead.
Students, do you have any questions? You can ask any questions relating to your life, maybe your college life, the difficulties that you're facing, or the anxiety that you have during your exam times, or any other things. You can just ask ma'am about all those things. Yeah, Parmit, ma'am, here there's one question from the student, like how to overcome the anxiety of exam.
How to overcome anxiety of exams?
Student is prepared for the exam, and but still the student is because of the anxiety, the student feels everything is forgotten. So how can that be?
Yes. So, I mean, usually if somebody asks me this question, I always ask them more detail. For example, now because it's a live session, if you want, you can connect with me later on. But usually, what is done in this situation is what is causing the anxiety, and student has said that the exam is causing the anxiety. So, what is the reason behind it? Okay, so is it because the preparation is not done? Or is it because there is a fear of future, that they may not get the job, they may not get or maybe somebody will scold them. So usually we explore that why anxiety is being experienced. If anxiety is because the exam preparation is not done, then the focus is shifted to how we can utilize our time to better prepare for the exams. Usually what happens, if the preparation is done properly, then the anxiety reduces. But in many of the cases, I have also seen that even if the preparation is done, the anxiety does not go away. Okay, for that we follow the different treatment plan. Okay, for if you are experiencing anxiety, if you have done the mindful exercise, that can also help. For example, if in the morning I have an exam and I'm feeling very anxious and I'm not feeling like anything, so doing that exercise, mindful exercise for 1 or 2 minutes also helps calm down our thoughts and relaxes our body. So these are the some of the strategies which can be employed depending on what is the reason behind the anxiety. Because it's very easy to say exam anxiety, but the reasons are much deeper. So I'll have to explore a bit more on this. If a student is open to talk about it, I have no issue. Yes, I hope I made myself clear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Students, if you have any more questions, you can unmute yourself and then you can ask. If there is no questions, then we can continue. So I ask Father Joy Wilson D'Souza, our dear principal, to speak a few words about the webinar.
So, respected resource person of the day, Mrs. Parmit Kaur, Reverend Father Roshan Rosario, Director, St. Anthony's Institutions, Reynal Fernandez, Coordinator of Grivensel, all faculty members, and my dear students. At the outset, I would like to thank Mrs. Parmit Kaur for this exceptional session on building resilience, especially during trying times, during hard times, difficult times. And I'm sure all the participants have benefited and gained practical knowledge about mind care through the various techniques and exercises, especially the PARMA technique. And the best way to make the pupil understand is to involve them. And Mrs. Parmit has made us understand the concept by involving us too in the session. So thank you, ma'am, for your availability, for your time, and for the practical information that you have given us. And I'm definitely sure the students have benefited, they have understood, and they will put into practice and build resilience in their own lives.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
and for giving this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes. And all of us are very much health conscious these days. We know the corona situation, the pandemic situation, as all the more told that health is wealth. And we are more conscious about our physical health, that all of us should be healthy. Whenever we have some sickness or illness, we visit a doctor. Very often, mental health or psychological health is not given adequate attention or importance. We have given either less importance or no importance at all for the mental health. And the repercussions of this is very much visible today. We hear and read about a growing number of suicides, the suicidal tendencies that are seen in young students. We feel many a times that we can manage it on our own. Whatever disturbance that we have got, we feel that we can manage on our own. We do not want to share it with others. But today, we have realized that mental health too is equally significant, and this is rightly so. Very especially when there are trying times, when the stress is more, and it is very important to strike a balance. And thank you very much, ma'am. We are indeed grateful to you. And I'm sure that students will be more and more open, and whatever grievances they have got, they will share and they will experience a healing, inner healing, which is also very important to perform well in their life as well as in their academics. So thank you once again. Thank you one and all. Ma'am, I've got one question. It's relating to the present situation itself. We see the present pandemic situation. It has affected everyone. It has affected people of all walks of life. But in a special way, we can say it has affected those people who are totally, those whose livelihood is dependent on their day-to-day earnings. If it has affected them, definitely it has affected their children, their family, and everyone, those who are dependent on them. And we can say that this is a situation, practical situation, where they are having more stress, how to take care of their families, how to educate their children. And in this kind of practical situation, how do you think they can build up that kind of resilience against this odd? Because it's practically, in a way, we can say it's difficult, because no matter how much guidance we give them, how much consolation we can offer them, comfort we can offer them, but still the situation to take care of their family is really difficult in such trying moments. And how we can ask them to build up resilience in such difficult and hard time.
Yes, sir, I think that's a very valid question, because since this lockdown started, we have counseled so many people. So whenever we counsel them, first thing is something we always make sure is if basic things they are getting. Are they getting food? What about their jobs? Because unless these basic things, which is if they are under roof, they are having food, they have job, their family is all right, it's very difficult to for us to give them counseling. So whenever this situation is encountered and whenever we counsel such clients, we always made sure that these facilities are given. And even we have the number where government is giving shelters, government had given food, so we had the list, and depending on where they are located, we used to give them that facility. So after they get that facility, so many a times they came up with the problem that they are not earning that much. So when we counsel them later on, they we over the sessions we realized that, and they themselves realized that maybe they can do alternative thing. For example, if somebody is working in a mall and malls are closed, they can explore some other places where in during lockdown malls were closed and those who were working there were having issue earning. So they decided to go to grocery delivery, and they also started joining Zomato and Swiggy. That actually happened. We guided them to join such places. Many could join and many could not join. So even if they were not able to join, what are the best possible ways they can do to overcome this situation? Sometimes they would come, because that's something they will decide themselves, that what are the sources where they can start earning. So that is something which comes from their own. We just help them decide what you best can do. And over the time they do realize that, this situation will pass, or maybe they take help from somebody, maybe they take temporary job. So after that is done, then we come to the psychological problem, psychological issue. They something which had been affected, because unless basic things are covered, they will not think about psychological issues, because first they have to eat, they have to feed their family. So we always used to make sure that these things are done, and then we would start the psychological counseling. So something which would make them happy, and depending on the situations, we would give them various tools and techniques which would help them.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, ma'am. Here there is one more question
Yes, yes.
from the student.
Yes,
This is the
please.
continuity about that preparation for the exam. So the student is prepared well for the exam, but when the question paper is received, the student gets confused.
Okay. So now I'll have to have a dialogue with the student to get into more deep, to get into understanding of what is causing the problem. Now, mostly it happens when the preparation is not done. If the preparation is done and still the anxiety is felt, there could be some deeper issues, and I'm not sure a student is comfortable sharing here, right?
The
Because
student
it
is on
could be
YouTube.
personal issues. Yeah. So if she wants, if he or she wants, they can contact me. I have no issue, because I'll have to go deeper, and there could be personal reasons, there could be something which a student may not be comfortable discussing here.
So the next
And to
question.
just give a general view, doing I will send some 2 or 3 exercises, and that really helps. It hardly takes 1 or 2 minutes. Whenever you feel that there is an anxiety, first of all, try to, that 5 column sheet which I have given, just write it down. What will happen if you will get the less marks? What will happen and what are the reasons behind it? Try to fill that 5 sheets, and I will also send some exercises. These are the general things, okay? But to find out the reason behind the anxiety, I'll have to know more about the issue. I cannot just give say anything. I'll need to know more.
Yeah. The next question is how to overcome the tension of exams. Any tips or any kind of
Yes.
exercise?
True. See, even if the time is less, it is always better to start the preparation as soon as possible. Even if the time is less, usually what happens, I have noticed that many of the students, they will start preparing from first chapter onwards. So if the time is less, for example, then start reading the important questions first, and then these are suggestions given by teachers also. Read the important questions first. Okay, so time management here becomes very important if the issue is only about preparation of exam and nothing else. Okay, is because she asked specifically about preparation of exams, their time management and prioritizing the task, it becomes very important. And it's not about reading 7 to 8 hours in a day. Even we have a pomodoro technique, right? So study for 50 minutes and then 10 minutes, then take 10 to 15 minutes break, and then again study for 50 minutes. That way you will be able to grasp more, as compared to when you are studying for continuously 4 or 5 hours. So these are some of the techniques which can be used.
Chat box is one more question. I find less confidence, but I know the subject very well.
Okay, and so in that way I will ask her I'll ask her what makes her feel less confident. If she's comfortable, or he or she is comfortable with the subject, why the confidence is less? So there will be some reason, right? That why the student is feeling less confident. So as I said, I'll need to know more. And for less confidence, sometimes the reason is in generally which I have observed is sometimes pressure from parents. Sometimes they will not get good jobs. Sometimes they some of the students are fed from the starting that you need to score more than 95. And even if they know the subject, there is an anxiety that what if I will score 80 something? What if my parents will scold? Why? I mean, it's just a perception they have created that I have to score this much. If I will not score this much, then this will happen, then that will happen. I'll get the scolding, I will not get the job, I'll be the third or fourth if I'm consistently on top. My rank is one. So are such kind of thoughts bothering the student, or is something else?
Terence, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes, that would be better.
Terence, you can unmute yourself. He's posted a question asking how to tackle the situation.
How to tackle
Hello,
the
ma'am.
situation? Yes, yes.
Situation without getting triggered, mom.
Could you tell which situation are you talking about? Are you
What was the
comfortable
situation?
speaking here?
No, I'm like, it's like, whatever the situation it may be, ma'am, like without getting triggered, we have to tackle it. Because I have
So,
faced it, so I'm just asking you.
Terence, I didn't get your question. Are you saying that how to tackle any situation without it affecting us, right?
Yeah, ma'am, without it affecting us.
Okay, so this is not the right way. Okay, if usually I think this is something we always, I have heard this thing from many people, that how to tackle something without being affected by it. But why we want that? If something, if there is something which has a tendency to affect us, so why we want that thing to not affect us? We are human beings, right? So this thing will affect us. If you are mentioning about a particular situation, that means it has tendency to affect you, and so it will affect you. What is wrong in that? So the point is that if something happens, it is going to affect us, because we are human beings. We are going to feel all sorts of negative emotions, but it's all, and then it gives it also gives us an opportunity to learn more about ourselves, right? Imagine that being happy, 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 what are we going to learn about ourselves, right? So see it in a different way. If there is a situation, it is going to affect me, I will feel negative emotions, but now it's up to me what I'm going to do about those emotions, right? And how long I'm going to stay in that negative state. Okay, be in that state, feel the emotions, but as I said, resilience is about bouncing back as soon as possible. Okay, so that is the goal. It's not about not getting affected by the situation. It is not at all about that, and that is not a healthy way. It has the repercussions, because as I'll give you example of my client. So this lady, her father expired, and what she did was, like for example, today her father expired, she started her job from tomorrow. She did not let herself grieve. Okay, and then what happened, you won't believe it, after 1 year also she did not
Students, do you
recover.
have any more questions? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Hello, am I audible? Do you have any questions? Can questions are Students, do you have any more questions? I think Sharon can continue.
Okay, ma'am. As we came close to webinar, I request Jovita from 2nd BBA to speak a few words of gratitude.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker of the day, Ms. Parmeet Kaur, Founder and Director of My Inner Log, Reverend Father Roshan Rosario, Director of St. Anthony's Institution, Reverend Father Joy Wilson D'Souza, Principal of Darshan College, Reverend Father Royston D'Souza, Administrator of St. Anthony's Institution, Professor Reynald Fernandez, Coordinator of Grievance Cell, teachers, participants, and students. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of Darshan College and my own behalf, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Speaker, Mrs. Parmeet Kaur, for her efforts today to deliver today's talk and enlightening us on building resilience during uncertain times. It was very informative and enriching. Thank you very much, ma'am. I also would like to acknowledge our gratitude to Reverend Father Roshan Rosario, Director of St. Anthony's Institution, Reverend Father Joy Wilson D'Souza, Principal of Darshan College, Reverend Father Royston D'Souza, Administrator of St. Anthony's Institution, Professor Reina Fernandez, Coordinator of Grievance Cell, for being present today and most importantly, giving us this opportunity, support, and inspiring us. Last but not the least, A special thanks to our dear teachers for being with us during these difficult times. Thank you, dear teachers. I also thank Chandan from BCA for supporting in technical work, and thank a college management for giving us paid Zoom platform for conducting this webinar, and all the students for their active participation and presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jovita. Thank you everyone for taking your time to attend this session and making this successful one. Thank you. It's Sharon signing off.
Dear participant, the webinar is come to an end, so you can leave. You can fill the feedback form
Shut up and get out.
to get certificates.